In our next segment, we'll meet a woman who made San Diego-based designers' dreams come to life. Determined to make our city relevant in the fashion industry, we'll sit down with the founder of Fashion Week San Diego. Meet Allison Andrews.
I'm Allison Andrews. I was born in Orange County in Long Beach, California. I'm the founder and director of Fashion Week San Diego, as well as the president of APA Business Consulting Incorporated. Nothing was right. It was like this really weird period of my life where you're now told you're an adult, but everything I had mapped out and planned and worked for was not what I was doing. I was doing like the B plan by choice, but the B plan wasn't the real plan either. And I was like, I gotta do something different. I went to Coachella one day. And I ended up meeting a guy there, and 3 months later I moved to San Diego. It was insane. I knew there was something better for me, and I knew I needed to get out of Orange County, but the East Coast wasn't it. But I still needed to get out of Orange County. I just didn't know where it was. And then I got introduced to San Diego, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. The type of student I was at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandise here in San Diego, I was definitely an overachiever, but I was also, compared to my fellow cohorts and peers, I would say a little more aggressive in the fact that I didn't want to just dick around, so to speak. I also started my first business while at FIDM. So at 20, a year into my program, I started APA Consulting. A lot of the classes were preparing you to run or operate a business in some regard. You know, learning how to buy, the different math classes, merchandising, etc., marketing. The best thing about that education was it was like being part of an accelerator/incubator. So I loved my education at FIDM because I actually applied it to myself. I made it work for me. I wasn't just a passive body sitting in a classroom trying to get an A. I was actually working on building something. How I got to Fashion Week and how I started Fashion Week really came from APA Consulting. I realized working in that business, primarily working with retailers and manufacturers and designers, that there was a common problem and a common trend happening in San Diego that was very frustrating to me. And I'll sum it up for you. I would work with these entrepreneurs, get them to their level of success. But what would happen is these people in the fashion industry, again, manufacturer, designer, retailer, they felt such pressure that they needed to be taken seriously, and the only way they could be taken seriously is if they were based in LA or New York. I got them to a point of so much success in their business, they actually felt comfortable and confident enough to take those leaps. But the problem with that was, guess what? I'm not in New York. I'm not in LA. So inadvertently, I was almost putting myself out of a job, literally. I thought, okay, well, what are my other options here? I thought, you know what? Let's start in our own backyard. Why do people feel this way? And what can I do to help change that mental model? And at that time with APA Consulting, I was actually a contractor that would work at IMG, at Smashbox Studios in Culver City doing LA Fashion Week. I knew how it worked. I had worked other fashion weeks. I'd done charity fashion shows. It was kind of, I was doing charity and non-charity fashion shows for my clients through APA Consulting. And I felt very comfortable in that space. And I thought, you know what? San Diego, for being the 8th largest city in the United States, being a port town, being a border city, being home to several manufacturers, I'm talking maybe even more than LA. And so I thought, you know what, there's no reason this city does not have one. It's almost a shame it doesn't have one. So I thought, gosh, it's such a shame it doesn't have one. You know what, I bet we could get people to start listening and changing their mental models if we had one, right? Because people pay attention to that. The red carpet, the events, the sexy girls, the models, the events, I mean, that gets people's attention. It was 2007, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I literally started working on it. And it took about a year to plan, and the first one was in 2008. It wasn't that big of an event. We took over the Grand Manchester Hyatt, so about 1,000 people. But for a first year event, 1,000 people, a fashion week, in a town when Memphis existed, in my early 20s, a kid, so to speak, pulling pulling that off, it's pretty dang impressive. My hat's off to my younger self on that one. The neat thing about where I sit today is anything is a possibility. Anything. What we have and what we built could stay the way it is and be wickedly successful for many, many more years. And we can keep going. Maybe one of my kids will be running it. One day you'll be interviewing my daughter and she'll be talking about it, you know? Or somebody else can take it and grow it to a different level than I was capable of. And that's great. I would love it. At the end of the day, what I want people to remember about me, or my legacy as people would call something like that, I think it's what I did for others, honestly. It's what I did for others. That's what it comes down to. Whether it was through my career or for my personal volunteering and being on boards and being a donor for different organizations, it's what I did for the community of San Diego. I'd like to say that I touched it and enhanced it and made it better. If you have passion and you're willing to put in the work and do the real work, not the busy work, because we all can be real busy, but we're not doing anything and getting nothing done. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the real work. If you're passionate and ready to do the real work, you'll be a success. There's nothing going to stop you. I'm Allison Andrews, the founder and director of Fashion Week San Diego, and you're watching The Block.
You can find out more on Allison Andrews and San Diego Fashion Week at fashionweeksd.com.